What is going on, my fellow NPL fans and those alike? I am the legendary Seabass, your analyst for the NPL, and today I'm bringing you all another interview. This time with, forgot to pronounce your name, Occisionis.
Something like that. Just call me Eric.
Eric, coach of the Reno Reggies.
What's up, guys? My name's Eric. As Seabass said, I am the coach of the Reno Reggies. I'm new this season. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to do well. I'm excited.
Alright, sweet. So let's just start off question one. What is your name? How old are you? And when did you start playing Pokemon?
My name is Eric. I'm 18 years old. And my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Red, but I like to say it was Pokemon Sapphire because that was the first Pokemon game where I actually understood what was going on.
Yes.
My first competitive experience, though, was X and Y.
Yeah, same for me. Like when it came to some of the older gens, like I had a Game Boy, or at least my brother had a Game Boy Color growing up, and I'd always mess around on this crystal file, even though he didn't want me to. But then I was given my own Game Boy and played through like Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'm like, this is making sense now.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I just walked around in Viridian Forest and looked at the cute creatures, and then Pokemon Sapphire is where I really started getting into Pokemon.
Question two, when did you start competitive Pokemon?
X and Y was my first competitive experience. When X and Y came out, it was my friend Grant and I. We decided, you know what, let's try competitive. We started breeding, and then we found Showdown. We realized, why are we breeding? But yeah, first Pokemon I ever bred was a Ninjask with Speed Boost, sub Swords Dance for baton passing and whatnot.
Yeah, when it came to competitive for me, like I saw it all in X and Y. I'm like, hey, this looks cool. I might try it, but I had like no actual good mons, so I just it's like, oh, I'll just catch this in the wild. It will work out. It doesn't.
How terribly wrong we were.
Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, question three: what is your favorite Smogon tier to play?
Ooh, favorite Smogon tier. I go back and forth between OU and UU a lot. The other tiers are just kind of like occasional things. So yeah, I would have to say OU and UU.
Sorry if you heard my soda in the background. So yeah,
You're good.
yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, when it comes to OU, a lot of people have been stopping playing OU because there's been too much stall recently, I've heard. I haven't really been paying attention to OU, like, because I mostly play like the lower tiers, like UU, NU mostly, because like the wide variety of Pokemon that you have compared to OU, where you have, you'll see Landorus, Clefable, Heatran on every single team.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing I don't like about OU is that it's really the same things over and over again. So that's why I like to play UU and OU. I go back and forth, probably about 50-50 between those, because UU is a pretty big tier and it's got a lot of variety in it.
I like UU because it has like a lot of my favorite Pokemon in it, like Blastoise, Haxorus, Doublade, Lucario, just like all these amazing mons.
Exactly. My favorite Pokemon is Crocodile, so that's like the UU mon.
That's a good choice. Alright, so question four, what's your favorite playstyle?
I would have to say I'm more of like a balance kind of guy, but I kind of lean more towards bulky offense in a way. Like, I like things that can take hits. Like, I kind of live by a policy, it doesn't matter if you would have taken 16 hits to kill me, I would have killed you in 4.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like my thing.
Yeah, when it comes to, I was about to say, I really like mostly offensive, like for instance, like setting up Swords Dance and then just sweeping an entire team, or Dragon Dance, because once you get like 3 Dragon Dance up, you will kill almost anything and no one will be able to outspeed it.
Exactly.
And unless you have like priority, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, setting up. I'm more of like a late game kind of setup guy. I prefer mostly just like pure power to start the match and then make them feel hopeless at the end.
Just like you'll take out like all their mons and then they'll have like something else that's like, I can't do anything to his remaining Pokemon. Like, what can I do?
Yep.
Alright, so question 5, what was your favorite type of Pokemon to draft?
Oh, I like Pokemon with a lot of versatility, like things that could be defensive and could be offensive. Like, I did this in my GPSL, if anybody ever watched that. But I drafted a lot of mons that were decent defensively and decent offensively instead of just amazing in one aspect. Like, one of my favorite mons I had on my team was Arcanine and Crocodile. Both of them I drafted for the same reasons. Was They could be defensive with Intimidate, or they could be offensive with Flash Fire and Moxie, respectively.
Well, that sounds like that sounds like really good like synergy between them. Like, let's say it's like, oh, I can run both offensive, I can run both defensive, I can have one offensive or one defensive when it comes to facing another person's team.
Yeah. So overall, I just like versatility. Things that get a lot of different offensive moves and can also have good defensive stats if they need to, depending on the situation I'm in.
Like when it comes to the Arcanine I run, it's like an impish one with like the standard set, Flare Blades, Close Combat, E-Speed, Wild Charge. Yeah, like when it comes to like most hits, like it will tank a lot of hits. Like one time I ate an Earthquake from, what was it again? A Heracross, I think?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you actually lived this. And
yeah, in my championship battle against in my old league is actually against Brazilian, who's also in the NPL. He had a Sylveon on his team, and I EV'd my Arcanine so that it could take Specs Hyper Voices, and then the set was, I want to say, Fire Blast and Iron Head because I didn't like the recoil, and I want to say like Toxic and Morning Sun. So it was like a especially defensive Arcanine that was mixed offensively. It was one of the weirdest sets I've ever ran, but I ended up losing that match, but it was still the last man standing, so I was very proud of it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good set, especially when it comes to Pokemon that can be like super bulky. You can run like all these crazy sets when it comes to certain Pokemon.
Exactly.
Right, so question 6, what was your favorite Pokemon in drafting format?
My favorite Pokemon in the draft format, I go back and forth between the base 100s. Mostly, I would say Jirachi and Victini. Kind of tied. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the Hax God set, but I like being able to fall back on that worst case scenario. But I like both of them because, again, the versatility. They're base 100 across the board. I can run them defensively, offensively, and both of them get incredible move coverages.
Oh yeah.
Most people would say like Mew is the best Pokemon in the draft format just because it literally does everything, but I find Mew to be overwhelming. Like I never know exactly what to do with it.
Now, when it comes to like most Mews, like I always just like it always comes to me running the standard set of Psyshock, Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot. Because when it comes to like Mew, it's like those are all the moves that you need to handle like the typings that it's weak to.
Exactly. So yeah, that's why I mostly prefer like Jirachi and Victini because they have better types and not as many moves, but still quite a lot of moves. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a starting place when you're building sets for them.
Also, when it comes to Pokemon like Victini and Jirachi, like they have like since there's a various move pools, like Jirachi weak to ground, Energy Ball, Victini's weak to water, Thunder, like they have all or Volt Strike.
Yeah, it's a lot of. They have good coverage. Exactly. There's no better way to say it. I really like Jirachi. I really like Victini. I go back and forth between them for what I think is the best one.
Also, when it comes to Jirachi, it can learn some pretty crazy moves. Like, he gets all the elemental punches, which the first time I saw it, I was like, why?
Why not?
But he got me there.
Those arms, those tiny arms are very powerful.
I know, right?
Watch out for them. And then Jirachi can also be ran like support sets, like with things like Toxic Thunder Wave. It gets Healing Wish, it gets Regular Wish. I'm pretty sure it gets Heal Bell, but I think
it does.
Hold me on that. Yeah. So yeah, it gets a lot of different stuff. Just could be ran offensively, defensively, more of a support role, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. Alright, question 7. What is your favorite generation?
My favorite generation is, although Crocodile is my favorite Pokemon and Pokemon White is my favorite game, Pokemon game at least, Generation 3 is probably my favorite just because it's like the first one. As a whole, I feel like all the mons that were introduced in Gen 3 are probably just like the most solid overall.
Yeah, when it comes to my favorite gen, I always just say Gen 2 because it was like the first game I ever finished. Even the post game, I got to finish it all. And it's like all the Pokemon that came with it that I've just like fallen in love with over the years. Like for instance, Typhlosion is my favorite starter from there. Umbreon, my favorite evolution, was introduced there.
Yep.
What else is there? Azumarill 2nd gen, right?
Yes, it is.
And for me, Scizor, yeah, that's another Pokemon I forgot to bring up. Scizor.
Legendary Scizor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great Gen 2 mons. It's just, I feel like it's just like such a small generation because I'm pretty sure there was only 100 Pokemon introduced in Gen 2, so like it's kind of hard to find like those gems. It's kind of the same for me with Gen 6 a little bit. It's just because it's so small.
Oh yeah. Also, for a second gen, Ho and Lugia are probably my favorite like main legendaries.
Lugia is my favorite legendary. 100%.
Oh yeah. Because like they're all like, especially when it comes to Lugia, it's so bulky, gets Calm Mind. What else? All of its diverse moves. So it's
Roost.
Like, yeah, Roost.
Multi-scale. It doesn't die.
Yeah, actually just doesn't die. Alright, so...
Yeah, I like Lugia because Pokemon 2000. That's like a little bit of happiness for me.
Question 8. If you can change one thing about Pokemon, what would it be?
One thing about Pokemon. There's a lot of things I would like to change about Pokemon. I would say, like, there's just a lot of weird things that kind of seem one-sided to me. Like, I would probably just, like, give everything a pairing. So, for example, like, we have Mega Beedrill, but no Mega Butterfree. We have, like, a physical Moxie, but no special Moxie. We have, like, a specially defensive Assault Vest, but no defensive Assault Vest. So I kind of just, like, give everything, like, pairings really would be, like, I guess the best way to describe it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea because, yeah, like you said, there's all these, like, abilities. Like, for instance, Intimidate, there's no special attack in Intimidate.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think I would just give Mon's new abilities and items and Mega Evolutions and things like that that kind of match well pairingly.
Yeah, that sounds like what was I about to say? A good idea. Like, when it comes to others, they say, like, in my opinion, some weird stuff. Like, for instance, someone said that they wanted to take out Mega Evolution. I'm like, yeah, that does sound good, but it also brings down all these underrated Mons who became good in Mega Evolution, and you just are gonna forget about them.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Mega Evolution. It adds another layer of depth to the game. You know, I just thought of something else I'd like to change. I'd like to change Feraligator's name. I'd like to give it its proper E. I feel like it deserves it at that point.
No, that bugs me so much when I first saw it. I'm like, Feraligator? Is that how it is?
I think the reason they did that is because they were limited to 10 characters back in Gen 2, so they couldn't fit an E, because with an E it would have been 11 characters.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't fix it in later gens, because isn't it, what's the count now? Like 16?
It's 12. It's 12 now, I'm pretty sure, as of Gen 6. So yeah, give Feraligator its E. Hashtag that.
Hashtag give the E.
Hashtag give the E.
Question 9. Realistically, how well do you think you'll do in the NPL?
I feel confident in my abilities. I mean, goal number 1 is to make the playoffs. Like, I already know I'm probably not the most exceptional player in the world. So, like, I'm not going to say, like, yes, I want to be the best. I'm going to take first place in everything. I'm going to win. But I would say goal number 1 is make playoffs. 100%.
Yeah, that's been a lot of people's goals, and what was I about to say? Also, I like when it comes to like people saying stuff like that, just like, you know, I'm gonna make playoffs, I'm gonna make it to the championship, I'm gonna win it all. Like, I like people saying stuff like that because they have all this confidence in them, and like they're so hyped. I'm
Exactly.
Like, you know,
and then they don't.
Well, at least they had the confidence for it.
It's true. I've only ever played in a couple of leagues before this, and I've only ever lost to less than 5 people for sure. But again, these are some people I've never played before. They're very steep competition, and they definitely know what they're doing. So,
like for me, I've never been in like a legit league. Like there have been times where like, let's say like, all my friends, like I have friends that are in the showdown as well, and they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just have this tournament right now. You pick your 6 Pokemon, and I'll pick my 6 Pokemon. We'll all duke it out. We'll see who's the victor. And I've won every single one, mostly because I'm the best out of like my entire friend group, and I'm like the most experienced.
yeah, I go back and forth between one of my friends. We compete a lot. I beat him in draft formats, but if we ever play like standard OU and UU, he always beats me. So it's kind of a weird relationship we have. But yeah, overall I feel confident in my abilities, and I think I'll do well.
Yeah, I like on how you have confidence in that. Like, I'm glad that everybody has confidence in going to this league. Like, hey, I'm gonna try and make playoffs. I'm gonna try as best as I can.
Yes, agreed. And then you probably interview someone like Aki who said like he'd probably say like he already won.
I didn't get to interview Aki, sadly. I wish I could have. So yeah, question 10. What is your favorite aspect of drafting format?
Oh, the drafting is so great. I like the fact that it keeps me thinking constantly, like not only when it comes to thinking about what I'm going to draft next, what works well with my team, but also thinking about what works well against teams I have to play multiple times, what works well against, oh, that team is really threatening. I don't want to have nothing for that team. So, and then when you get all of your mods, you got to kind of shape them to how you're going to play this week. So I kind of like just like the idea of constantly changing playstyles, constantly changing ways to go about battles. It's really just kind of keeps everything working, keeps me thinking.
Yeah, probably my favorite thing about drafting is like you can find all these underrated mons that you would like never see in like let's say VGC, and you'll bring them in and they'll just like destroy with them. Like for instance, what's a good example? Hitmontop, who is an RU mon. I've used him before in RU. One time I used him in UU on accident, and he just did all this work, like being a good rapid spinner, a good priority, and I wanted to use a toxic support set with it with all three of those moves, and it's just like so diverse, especially when it comes to drafting format, because it's like such an underrated mon, but it can still do the work being a rapid spinner.
Exactly. I really like Hitmontop as a mon. I remember probably one of the most unique things I did was in my GPSL team I had a Mega Lopunny, so I made sure I drafted Kafagrigus because I didn't want anybody else to have Kafagrigus because that's like the hard stop to Mega Lopunny. And in the championship battle I ran a Specs Kafagrigus and it worked pretty well. So like just like kind of things that you normally would not see, like a Specs Kafagrigus is something you probably would never see laddering in RU tier.
Oh yeah. Because like when it comes to Kafagrigus, like it's not meant to be offensive, it's meant to be the defensive wall that it is.
Exactly. So I kind of like the idea that, once again, things that can be offensive can be made to be defensive, and things that are defensive can be made to be offensive. So kind of just like, I have to come up with creative things that'll surprise my opponent, and I kind of like that, just keeping it fresh a little bit. I guess is the best way to describe it.
Alright, so question 11. What is a bold prediction you have for the season?
A bold prediction. Well, are we allowed to say like what we have on our team so far? Because I don't know if you want to spoil that for other people.
Yeah,
in terms of just the franchises.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all supposed to keep it low-key. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, well, my franchise mon, I won't say exactly what it is. I will say there's 12 weeks in the season, right?
Yeah.
I will say it gets 18 kills this season.
Wow. That's...
You wanted bold. You got bold.
That is very bold. But...
I'm going to say it averages 1.5 kills every week.
I remember in a Turbo's interview, he said that a certain Pokemon would reach 30 kills or would have a positive differential. I'm just like, wow, that's very bold when it comes to Pokemon like that. I won't say who though, in case there's any sort of snipes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awfully bold.
Yeah. Alright, so you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah, let's do the lightning round. Here we go.
Sun or Moon?
Sun.
Smogon or VGC?
Smogon.
Livecom or Postcom?
Postcom.
Showdown or Cartridge?
Showdown.
Fairy or Dragon?
Dragon.
Gen 1 or Gen 6?
Ooh, Gen 1.
Alright, there we go. Thank you all so much for watching this interview. Eric, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck to you.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, be sure to check out the NPL Twitter, the YouTube channel. Check out me and Eric's channel. I'm not sure if it'll be linked below. It probably will. The first time saying this, I don't know why. So, alright, so anyways, with that, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next interview. Peace.
Later.